Jamie Green.
Thank you. To ask the Scottish Government how it will increase the take-up of modern foreign languages in schools.
Cabinet Secretary.
The Scottish Government is committed to language learning in our schools, which is why since 2013 we've provided local authorities and third sector partners with funding of more than £50 million to support the implementation of the 1+2 languages approach. A 2021 survey of local authorities confirmed that pupils across Scotland are now learning languages from Primary 1. This is an important change since the policy was introduced 10 years ago. We continue to promote the uptake of modern languages through the support that is provided to schools by Education Scotland and through the funding of the University of Strathclyde, which hosts Scotland's National Centre for Languages.
Jamie Green.
Can I thank the Cabinet Secretary for that? In the long and distant past, when I was at secondary school, over 12,000 of my fellow Scots studied a higher modern language. By 2003, that number had dropped to 8,000 pupils. 10 years later, it was 7,000. And last year, just 5,500 students did a modern language at a higher level. And that's no coincidence, Cabinet Secretary, because we've lost over 500 language teachers over the last decade. I also studied 2 languages at a higher level, something which is a bit of a luxury these days. I have to say, for a government which proclaims to be so international and outward-looking, how do we let things get so bad in Scotland?
Cabinet Secretary.
I thank the member for his interest in this. And of course, when the member and I were at school in the dim and distant past, the curriculum required us to study a language up until the end of S4. It was mandated. So the challenge the member puts to me today really is about the level of mandating the government has in the curriculum. And this was something I discussed with the Education Committee earlier this year. And of course, I will come to the Chamber very shortly to update the member and update parties, I should say, on the whole of Parliament in relation to the government's response on the Hayward Review. But let's look at some of the more recent statistics in relation to languages uptake. We have seen entries in the senior phase in National 4 and National 5 increasing between 2022 and 23, and entries at higher level have remained relatively stable. Entries for modern languages for Life and Work Award SEQF level 3 and 4 have quadrupled since 2013, and across SEQF levels 3 to 7, entries to all languages qualifications have increased by 3.4% between 22 and 23. So there are signs of progress. I accept the challenge from the member, and I hope he also accepts the wider challenge around Scotland's curriculum at the current time, which is whether or not we need to go back to a system which mandates languages learning to a certain level.
And supplementary, Claire Adamson.
Thank you, Presiding Officer. The opportunity to study and to have exchange abroad is an immense benefit to learning a foreign language, no matter when you are studying that language, whether that's at school in the past or now or in the future. But Brexit has robbed that opportunity for many young people, and we have the axing of the Erasmus Plus programme. Meanwhile, Labour and the Conservatives have rejected the EU Commission proposals that would have made it easier for young people to study in the EU up to the age of 30. So can I ask the Government what steps the Government is taking to support students who wish to undertake study and exchange abroad?
Cabinet Secretary.
Well, exposure to native voices and the opportunity to enjoy the culture of different countries is hugely beneficial for language learners. That's why the UK's decision to withdraw from the popular and successful Erasmus Plus programme was so self-defeating. And the replacement, the Turing scheme, is much less effective. It helps fewer students and it does not help staff at all. It does not enable overseas students to come to Scotland additionally. In 23-24, the Government has piloted a re-established scheme in relation to looking at the opportunities that Erasmus Plus has provided us with. And whilst that project won't be able to deliver the full benefits of the Erasmus Plus programme, it will support student and staff exchanges and help to develop stronger partnerships between educational institutions.
I call question number 6, Ros